I know that we're in the middle of the best season in the history of the Detroit Lions. I know that we are the number 1 seed in the NFC for the first time. We are back-to-back NFC North champions for the first time. We have one of the most historic offenses in the history of the NFL, the best red zone defense in the history of the NFL, and just this team has been playing at such a high level all year that I think we kind of take for granted how good they really are. And I follow, Detroit Sports PR on Twitter. Great follow. Or Detroit Lions PR on Twitter, excuse me. If you don't follow, you should follow them. It's a great follow. They put out a lot of great stats, a lot of different things that some people might have missed. And they put out some stats about the Detroit Lions and their success so far this year. And I want to go through them one by one and really break down what they mean. Chris, pick any one of the three and throw it up there first.
Yeah, just start with any of these, right?
Start with any of them.
All right, let's start with this one.
And there it is. The Lions have won 4 Player of the Month awards in this season for the first time in team history, with 4 different players collecting the honors. In September, it was Hutchinson, Defensive Player of the Year. October, Jared Goff, Offensive Player of the Year. November was Jake Bates, Special Teams Player of the Year. And in December/January, it was Jahmyr Gibbs for Offensive Player of the Year. That means they've had the best player in their respective group, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, every single month of the NFL season. Twice on offense, 1 on defense, and 1 on special teams. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. You have so many studs all over this team that you're like, okay, yeah, he's the best offensive player this month in the entire NFC. And then he's the best offensive player in this month in the entire NFC. These guys, they're just so loaded with talent. And look, throw that up one more time again, Chris.
Let's see.
Because you look at the names on this list. Aiden Hutchinson drafted by Brad Holmes. Jared Goff, the first thing Brad Holmes did was bring him into this team. Jake Bates knew what Brad Holmes was, pretty much drafted. I mean, not technically drafted, but his first NFL opportunity given to him by Brad Holmes. And then Jahmyr Gibbs drafted by Brad Holmes. It's a beautiful thing.
And that's why I am not extremely concerned if we do lose these coaches, is because Brad Holmes is the guy acquiring these players, and he is a weapon when it comes to drafting, and he is so confident. Plus, he doesn't just sit pat. He'll trade back, he'll trade up, he'll get more picks, or he'll give up some picks if he wants to acquire a guy. So the talent acquisition from Brad Holmes is out of this world. It's not even close. So to have this much talent, I think, gives me hope and optimism for the future, that this isn't just, a couple year stretch. This isn't just a fun run that we've been on. This is what we should be getting used to as Detroit Lions fans, because Brad Holmes is so good at his job.
Yeah, I love that part of Brad Holmes and giving him praise, but sticking with the guys that we have here in the awards, what stands out to me is exactly what you mentioned, Spencer, is the fact that it's every facet. It's offense twice, defense, and special teams. That just top to bottom is a complete roster. And obviously credit to Brad Holmes, Nick, as you brought up, which is great. But sticking with the fact that it just doesn't happen that you see these teams winning, because of their offense or because of their defense or because of this or because of that. But this Detroit Lions team can really win anyway, and that's why you got to have confidence with this team going into the playoffs, is because, yes, you do have injuries. Yes, you do have holes now. But when this roster was fully healthy, we saw there was literally no flaws.
Yeah.
Fully healthy, this team is, no exaggeration, a historic team. Mm-hmm. And that is because it is complete top to bottom. There's complete synergy. And I love the fact that, offensively, it's 2 different players.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a quarterback winning it both times because you have an elite quarterback like a Josh Allen. No, it's Jared Goff was absolutely the best player on offense in the month of October. But Gibbs has been lighting it up. Both of those awards.
Over, yeah.
The fact that you could even just take the awards from your teammates, dude, that's insane.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
And like you said, it wasn't how do you want it offense. It's truly a how do you want it team. And we saw the defense win us the game against the Vikings in Week 18. We saw the defense win us the game against Houston when they got the interceptions when we needed them after Jared Goff had 5 interceptions that game. We've seen the offense win us plenty of games this year by putting up an insane amount of points
The
and
special
dominating the
teams
ball.
beat the Titans.
We saw the special teams win us a game by getting the ball inside of the opposing territory every single time. Like, we've truly beaten teams in every single facet. It's just insane. And Chris, like you said, if injuries were turned off, the Lions wouldn't have lost the game this year. If the injuries were turned off, the Lions would not have lost the game this year. I just love it, man. I truly love it. And we got more.
Yeah.
I'll throw up another one, Chris. Another reason of why this Lions team and their success, I don't think we talk about it enough. Truly, how good they are.
Well, let's stick with the unit here, and let's go with.
And here we go. We talked about it earlier in the year. Is there a running back room better than the Detroit Lions? Remember, I believe it was ESPN did not have the Detroit Lions ranked in their top 4 running back rooms in the NFL. You idiots. But you look at it here. The Lions running back. This is again from Detroit Lions PR, which is a fantastic Twitter follow. You should all be following Detroit Lions PR. The Lions running back unit combined for 3,307 scrimmage yards and 32 scrimmage touchdowns this season, leading all NFL running back units in both categories. The last NFL team to have their running backs combined for at least 3,000 scrimmage yards and 30 touchdowns was the 2006 Chargers.
Damn.
Almost 20 years, and the NFL hasn't seen a running back room at the caliber of this Detroit Lions unit. They're the best running back room in the NFL. It's not even close. We saw these guys step. Jamar Jefferson stepped up when Monty went down. Obviously, Craig Reynolds stepped up in that last game. We saw Sion Vaki get some good touches. And then what do you got to say about David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs? You got 2 running back ones handing off to each other pretty much. Like, when David Montgomery went down, I'm pretty sure they had the exact same amount of touches in the season. This running back unit is so insane. Shout out to Brad Holmes for acquiring a lot of this talent, signing David Montgomery and then re-signing David Montgomery, drafting Sion Vaki, drafting obviously Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a unit that is led by Scotty Montgomery and that is just absolutely bruising. It doesn't matter who is in there because we've seen there isn't a drop-off between these guys, man. David Montgomery goes down. We were a little worried about it, but we knew we had Jahmyr Gibbs, so nobody was really worried about it. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs performing as the alpha back out there, but then you have Craig Reynolds picking up 7 yards a carry against the Vikings. You have Sion Vaki filling in the passing game a little bit against the Bears, I believe it was. It's just
Jamar Jefferson
making plays and getting some goal line touches. This team is so well, and this running back room has been insane.
But hey, you shouldn't pay running backs.
Yeah.
But hey, you shouldn't take a running back in the first round. Look what this has done. Get all of your preconceived notions about building a team and throw them in the goddamn garbage. Brad Holmes, masterclass, bringing in all of these talented running backs. And we haven't seen anything out of Vaki yet. And I guarantee that this guy's going to be a weapon for this team moving forward in the future when we need him to be. Yeah. D-Mont, what more can you say? You paid him. People said not to. Gibbs, what more can you say? You drafted him. People said don't do it.
People told me Gibbs and Montgomery was going to be a downgrade from Williams and Swift. I was told that on these airwaves.
What the fuck? That's terrible. All right, Chris. Yeah, I just wanted to give Brad Holmes some more props on this one for going against the grain. Because all these media people are so smart saying don't pay running backs. Don't draft them in the first.
Yep.
Look what he did and look where we turned out.
I love that you brought that up, and just because I know the next graphic and it's not involving this, but they should get credit, and I'll lump it in here. It's the offensive line, man. Like the offensive line, really helping this team take another level, and these running backs take another level. And I'm glad you brought up Vaki too, because that's somebody that I have some long-term faith in. Like, I have real stock there. I'm buying all Vaki stock. I don't know why. I can't even fully explain why. I just am. I'm just buying all the stock. So if you're selling, contact my agent. We'll get a deal done. But I love this team, man. I love the running back room. It's awesome. It's a great thing to see. So, man, shout out to that offensive line. I know offensive lines get gifted gifts for their quarterbacks. These offensive line, like, what did they get, Spencer? Like, do they get houses? Do they get Do they get like countries? Like, what do they get?
They should get something more than any. Jared Goff got them coolers full of meat.
Yeah, which is good. You gotta feed the heavies.
Keep them heavy, man.
But man, they deserve like a small country. Like break off a small country or that island in the Pacific Ocean is now just yours.
Yeah,
it's yours, man. They're incredible.
No, those guys are absolutely. It's the best unit in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then they went back to playing like that, and they've been a little banged up here and there. So now you're getting. It's good to get a bye week for those old heads, for Frank Ragnow, for Taylor Decker, for Graham Glasgow, those old guys that are banged up, because they're all banged up. Everybody's banged up. It's an 18-week season or a 19-week season. Like it's going to happen. So it's important to have that bye week so those older guys, especially in the offensive line, can get healthy.
Yeah. Shout out the 2006 Chargers, Easy's favorite team when he was in college.
Shout out. Yeah, I was like, where are you going with that? Yeah. Easy love going.
LaDainian Tomlinson. You're the big LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT.
He was the man.
And that's true. I would have to look at those splits because I would bet the vast majority of that was from LT. And not
did he have like 27 touchdowns that year? Like, am I tripping?
He was a freak.
Yeah.
And we got one more.
Yeah.
That I want again from the Detroit Lions PR. This is another graphic or another tweet that they put out there. The Detroit Lions did not allow a touchdown in 4 games this season, the most in the NFL. This ties for the 4th most games without a touchdown allowed in franchise history and is Detroit's most in a season since 1983.
Damn.
That's when Easy was turning 12. Okay, so like this is
that was
crazy.
his 13th birthday, big time.
Aaron Glenn said he wanted to be the greatest defensive coordinator in the history of the Detroit Lions. He's up there. He is in the conversation. Like that is his 4 games without allowing a team to score a touchdown. And I know one was the Viking, or one was the, I believe it was the Pack, or what am I talking about?
Titans.
The Titans. One was the Jags, the Vikings, and then the Cowboys. Right? Those are the 4. Did the Cowboys score a touchdown?
No, they
Sounds
didn't.
about right.
So those are the 4, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But still, those are still NFL teams. To hold them out of the end zone for 60 minutes is insane. And to do it 4 times for the first time or the most since 1983, hats off to Aaron Glenn with this defense that has been ravaged with injury. That's just an insane stat.
Yeah, I don't even believe that stat, to be honest, with all, what was that, 110 games that you've missed from starters?
Yep.
Like, that's where this team's at, and you go out and throw 4 games without giving up a touchdown. I mean, Aaron Glenn, these players buying in. It's just, what more can you say? This has been a fun week with all these numbers coming out because they're all out of this world. Like, that's how good this team has been. They got the 1 seed in the NFC. This is going to be fun to see what they can do moving forward against, obviously, a lot better competition. But I have faith that this defense can still put up some really good numbers.
Absolutely, man. And the fact that you played the Bears and multiple teams during that missed Anzalone stretch, I believe even if you just give me Anzalone never getting hurt, that number might be even a little higher.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like, but it's insane just in this era where we all know obviously the game is geared towards offense.
100%.
You can't tackle anymore. Like all of these things you can't tackle anymore. What the hell?
No, I saw a stat. Supremacy said Tomlinson in 06 had 2,323 total yards and 31 total touchdowns. So, yeah, it was pretty much LT by himself.
I thought I was exaggerating. I thought I was exaggerating with 27 touchdowns. That's nuts.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But, no, it's just crazy in this era where it's geared towards offense, obviously, that this defense is able to do this. That's insane.
Yeah, and this was obviously the tweet we had yesterday about the red zone defense and how effective it was also from Detroit Lions PR, and they posted a lot more. This is truly, we know they're good. We know they're the best team the Lions have ever had. But the greatness that we're witnessing, I think, is still going over even some of our heads that are so invested into this team. If you go to Detroit Lions PR on Twitter and just scroll through their last 15 tweets, it's all stuff like this that is the first time since '62 and one of 3 teams in NFL history. There is 20 tweets in a row about this Detroit Lions team. This is truly one of the greatest football teams in the NFL's history.
Dude, it's better than the porn you find on
Yes,
Twitter. Like
it
don't
really
go
is.
don't go to the porn pages. Go to the Detroit Lions PR if you really want to get off.
Shit
It's
kept me
insane.
up at night, honestly.